my question more specifically is, what is the last video that wasn't your video that you shared, and why did you share it? And so here's where I'm going with it. Think about the last video that you shared. And this is not like what is the last thing that you shared? What is the last video you sent to your friend in their DMs? What is the last post that you shared on your timeline? What is Hi India? What is the last tweet that you sent somebody, that you texted your friends? Like, what was the last thing that you shared with someone, and why did you share it? Because this is it's actually a really interesting concept, because as somebody who talks about content, I I can gauge, or like naturally like think of the types of content that you can make that people will share, but you never really know what's going to go viral. You never really know what's going to be like that thing that really takes you off. The only common thing is that, hey Irene, the only common denominator is that any video that's viral is viral because people shared it. Who is, let's say, like your favorite artist. Your favorite artist is, announced their tour dates, and so you share that on your timeline, or you share that in your stories, because this is basically you like endorsing their content. You're endorsing their work. You're endorsing them as a musician. And so even when you have a business, like testimonials are the thing that really sell you as a business owner. So if you have somebody who has referred you really highly, or they talk about you all the time, now all of a sudden people are like, now wait a minute, you keep talking about this Cardi person. Let me figure out who she is or what she does. And the concept is still the same. You're sharing it for a reason. So I shared, if you're just coming in, I shared that the last thing that I shared was was a video that Ebony did. Ebony from the For Trendsetters Only community. She posted a video talking about her experience with the visibility challenge, and a lot of y'all have said how you felt about the visibility challenge, which really makes me excited, because that was my goal when I started it, was for people to feel like they accomplished something, because you did. Like, what you accomplished is major, and what you got from it is going to be so impactful beyond, just now. Did you share it because it inspires you? Did you share it because the product really works? Did you share it because it's the thing that you've been looking for, that you feel like you haven't been able to find it anywhere, and you found it here? Did you share it because it changed your life? Did you share it because it was funny and you thought that it was relatable, and the person that you shared it with, you knew that they would get a good laugh out of it too? Did you share it because you knew that that person needed a pick me up? They needed to be encouraged. They needed something that was going to help them to feel good. Did you share it because it was informative? Recipes, workout routines, things that people can take and use that information. Did you share that because you're like, oh man, I never knew that you could do that with Canva. Let me share this with so and so, or let me tell them about, this product, right? So all of these different things are reasons why we typically share information, we share content. So, one first. The first mistake that I made is that because of the numbers and because of the analytics, I felt like I wasn't making an impact. I felt like I wasn't an influential person. And I felt like what I had to say would basically it basically, like, whether I show up or not, who cares? That's how I felt. And so, because that is the mentality that I had, I didn't realize at the time, but because I wanted to be an influencer, I knew that I was going to have a platform where I shared products. I talked about products. I talked about people. Like, in order to be an influencer, you have to believe that you are influential. But I didn't realize that mentality that I had, that was making me feel like I didn't have an impact, that I wasn't a person of influence. It was working against my ability to be able to show up the way that I needed to. So, like, This is what it looked like practically. If I'm putting out a video and I feel like I don't get any views from it, no one's paying attention to what I post, I can show up however I want to, whenever I want to. I can post once a month. I can post twice a year. Who cares? No one's really paying attention to me. And that's the attitude and the mentality that I had. And so early on, I remember I struggled so hard with being consistent, y'all. And I know it may sound like, no, what? Ain't no way you struggled. Yes. I was terrible. I was terrible. And the thing that I knew is that it was not the standard I knew I needed to be at to be successful. I showed up, but I was not consistent. And so some people would be like, "Well, I saw you posted a video. You put this up on YouTube, whenever." But it's like, do you know when I'm going to post? Do you know when I'm going to show up? Do I stick to my word? I could post something and then I would not follow up on whatever I posted. Or I could say, I'm going to do a giveaway. Never do the giveaway, right? Like all of these things, like I was not sticking to my word because it felt like whether I show up, whether I don't, it doesn't matter. We feel like we can just kind of like, slide under the radar when we don't believe that we make an impact and that we actually have influence and that people care about what we have to say. Like they actually listen to us and take into account the things that come out of our face, right? So that's the first one. So India says, definitely have felt like my impact wasn't anything to write home about. Okay. I definitely feel that one. That one I really felt. Marshita said, I have definitely let myself down a lot, and at times felt like an imposter. It has led to me taking posts down a ton, and I start and stop a lot. Wow. Wow. I can definitely, oh man. There's a lot of stuff that just did not see the light of day because I felt like it wasn't good enough. Cardi said, but I relate to all you just said. Lots of times I don't feel seen or heard, or I'm not talking about much of anything. Okay. Okay, good, y'all. So it's not good to feel that way, obviously. But I want you to take even the fact that you've admitted to it, that you've spoken about it, that you are giving it a little bit less power. And this is not where I was going to go, but I want to make sure that I speak to where y'all are right now. Because here's the thing, y'all. You can get whoever, whatever product, whatever bundle, whatever guide you want, that's going to help you to, be consistent, get 10K in a month. If you get this, you'll have 1,000 followers in 30 days. Like I've seen it all, and I've purchased a lot of those products, and none of them worked for me the way they were advertised. None of them worked for me. And the reason why is not because it was bad information, or that it was even irrelevant, but it didn't address the fact that I didn't feel worthy enough. I didn't feel qualified enough. I didn't feel like I could see these results because I didn't believe it for me. And so no amount of strategies and skills and tips and tricks is going to address the fact that if I don't feel worthy, if I don't change the way that I see myself, I'm not going to see progress. Today, I met with a client. I really want to say the name, but I'm not going to say the name because whoever the person is, it's not for me to share their business unless they choose to share it on their own. But I was talking to my client today, and during towards the end of the session, I realized how much work this person had been doing on themselves, like in recognizing more and more like, oh wait, hold up. I see who I'm supposed to talk to now. I see like this brand emerging. I see myself, I see how I can be more authentic in who I am. And that made my heart light up because I know that, like, knowing that and working through that, that this person is going to be unstoppable when it comes to their business. They're gonna be unstoppable when it comes to into finding their community and meeting people and really making these connections with the right folks so that their business can flourish. And I'm even more excited to see the content that this person creates after the session that we had today, because it's gonna be top tier, y'all. Like, top tier quality content, because it's going to be them. Like, it's going to be the real them, because now it's affirming for me, oh wait, I can really do this. This is like, this works. I help people. And so that's what I want you to start to see within yourself, that I actually make an impact, because I'm starting to see people say, I resonated with what you said. This tip that you gave me helped me. Or I watched your video and I was able to do XYZ because of it. Or I'm a mom and I have a newborn, and I just felt like I was never going to be able to put on an outfit that made me feel good. But then I saw Marshita's video and it made me feel like I could do it. So I got dressed because I saw that Marshita got dressed, and she got two kids and one of them is a newborn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll start to see that those experiences will start to validate what you do. Because in the same spirit of listening to what people say, I wish that I wouldn't have ignored what people showed me that they wanted from me. I remember I would get so frustrated because people would ask me questions, right? And they would always ask me questions about stuff that was not related to fashion. Like, they always ask me stuff. Like, people would ask me, what kind of microphone did you use in your video? Or what kind of camera do you use? Or if I want to edit a video, how do I do that? Or how do I upload a video onto YouTube? Or how did you do that thing on Instagram? And they would always ask me these questions, or they would ask me business questions, like what type of what kind of software do you use to accept payments? And I remember getting so frustrated because that was not what I did. Like, I was not a tech influencer. I was not trying to teach people how to set up a studio at home. I learned what I learned because I needed to figure it out so I could make content. But people would always ask me questions about how to make content. And so I remember for a long time, I would like put it off. Like, if people ask me one off, that's fine. But like, I would never create content around that. I would never talk about it because I didn't want it to take away from my tutorials, which the tutorials were fine, but they weren't really, I wasn't really passionate about the tutorials, if I'm being honest with y'all. Like, I can say that now. I was afraid to say it before because then it was like, what am I going to do? But I just I wasn't that passionate about doing it. And now with branding, I realized that there is a lot of value in me like dropping fashion design and being more open to the things that people tell me and show me that they are interested in. And so what that looks like now is that this microphone, which I keep talking about because I sincerely love this microphone. I posted a video on Instagram, a reel, talking about this microphone. And when I posted it, that video got like 13,000 views on Instagram. And when I went to look at the analytics of the number of people who clicked on the link, because I have the link to it in my bio, I saw the number of people, and like over 100 people clicked on that link, y'all. Like, and I am not, hey, big sis, and I am not, like, still to this day, I don't consider myself to be a tech influencer. I show people how to create content. That's a part of what I do. But imagine if I had not talked about this microphone at all. Like, if I was still trying to shut down that part of me that people were literally showing me they want to hear it from me. It doesn't matter that I'm not a tech influencer. I'm someone who's creating content and they want to know what I use because they're interested in hearing it from me. And so just like knowing that that was something that I used to hate. Like I used to hate when people asked me that. It just felt so irrelevant and not in any way related to what I wanted to talk about or how I wanted to show up. And so I want you to take this point and think about, what things do people show you that they want from you? And this doesn't mean that you have to completely shift and change what you talk about or what you offer, but just take into account, like, if they're showing you, if you put something out and they're liking this video, they're sharing this video, or if you have products and you see that maybe they're clicking on the link, they're going to your profile now because something that you mentioned that may not be in your niche, but it is what people want to hear from you. Don't discount that. It doesn't matter if you're not the expert in that field. It doesn't matter if you are not the most knowledgeable or the most experienced. If you are applying it, you're actually doing it, then you have something of value to offer. Okay. All right, so y'all ready? Are y'all ready for the last one? The last one is good. I feel like the last one is gonna challenge us a little bit because it's kind of cringy. It's kind of cringy. And if you're like me, it's going to be especially cringy because it means like you have to talk about something that you just really don't, you would really rather not. Okay, so have y'all ever seen those lives where the people are always like, make sure you're liking this, make sure you get the taps up, make sure you share this out to 5 people, 10 people. I'm not going to talk about this until I see 10,000 likes on here. I'm not going to talk about this until I see 100 people in this live. Have y'all ever seen lives like that? Or like, yeah, well, it's usually in lives. Have you ever seen lives like that? Or it's like, make sure you share this out with 10 people right now. Like, it's always like this sense of urgency to share your content. I've always been like simultaneously irked and like uncomfortable with spaces like that. It's always made me feel like that's so cringy. Like, don't do that. If people like it, they'll share it, right? And so that was the mentality that I had for a long time, until I realized that people don't always think to do certain things. Like on YouTube, a lot of times people don't think to subscribe if you don't mention it at all. Like if you don't say, "Hey, have you subscribed to this channel?" Or if you like this content, have you considered subscribing to it? Or if you subscribe, this is what you're going to get. And like actually presenting it and making you think, "Oh, wait, I watch her videos all the time and I have not subscribed to her stuff." Or if someone told you, like, I remember I didn't know about, I never thought to share someone's YouTube live. Like that thought never crossed my mind at all. I had literally never thought about that. I was like, wait a minute. You can share YouTube videos. Like you can share them. And I think in my mind, I didn't realize that you could actually share them like while they're still going live. Like if I was like to click this, I can share this right now to our Discord if I want to. India shared it actually. That's how most of y'all are here. But you can share it. And so I remember I was watching someone's live and she was like, y'all, please make sure that you like the broadcast, share the broadcast with your friends if this is helping you. And I remember her saying that and me not being offended by that. It was almost like a light bulb went off, like, wait a minute. I can actually I can share this. I can share this with my friends. I can share this in like one of my group chats. And it was like in my head now, it's like, you know what? It's not as cringy as I've seen it done because it has been cringy. I feel like there's cringy ways to do it, and then there are ways to do it where it's like, oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. Or like even on TikTok, when people, when at the end of a video, when someone tells you, like, follow me if you like this content, or follow me for more series like this, and that is totally fine. Like, because at the end of the day, if I like your content, I am gonna follow you. But in my head, I may not think, oh, you know what? I actually have liked the past few videos that you've done, or I will go look on your profile and see what other content you have because maybe it's gonna be helpful, and I want to follow you to make sure that I can see more of it. So like actually saying it can trigger something in people's mind to be like, oh, wait, actually, I should do it. And so all of that brings me to the point of feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. And so nothing is more discouraging and more disheartening than feeling like you're putting out all of this content and no one cares. Like it sucks. It really sucks. It's just very frustrating, and it can be very discouraging, especially when you are noticing that it's happening a lot more often, or it's been going on for a long time, and you're just like, I don't get it. Remember at the beginning of this live, I told you that in any video that has gone viral is because somebody shared it. People shared the video with people, and that's what made the content go viral. No viral video has ever gone viral without sharing, right? But our goal is not to go viral necessarily, but our goal is to have our content be put in front of new faces, because all of it does not fall on us. Everything doesn't fall on us. It's not, if us putting out the content and putting out the video is good, and that is our part, and you should do what you can to make sure that it is posted in as many channels as you can manage. But the thing that's going to really give it legs and make it go further is when you share it, able to reach. And so I'm learning that it is really important for me to state that clearly and let people know what I would like them to do. If you have been on here and you've liked my content, I would like you to subscribe, because as you can see, this is the kind of content that you're going to get. This is me. This is who I am. And if it's helping you, I really want you to be connected. If you really want to be connected, you can be in the community and join the community. Like, saying the things that you desire for people to do, the action that you want them to take to help your content and to help your platform be more visible than it would be by yourself. How we tend to think that we have to do everything by ourselves, but you can even ask friends to share your stuff. Share it. Like if you know that you have something, I have a friend, actually it's Marshida's husband, if she's still on here. Marshida's husband, he posted that they have a goal that they're trying to get to. They're trying to reach a goal for their wedding. They want to have a wedding. They never got to have a wedding ceremony, and so he is doing something with his art, a special with his art, in order to generate the money that they want to make for their wedding, right? And so he said that if you can't support monetarily, sharing it is just as valuable. Please share this content. Please share this post so that someone who may be able to and wants to support us can. You can buy some artwork. Something that, especially as women, we don't do that very well, which is weird, because we are really good at being in community with one another. But when it comes to actually asking for that support and being very clear in how we want people to support us, we don't do that as well. We tend to feel like that's something that we got to do solo. Like, I got to figure it out. I got to make it work. I got to make this video go X, Y, and Z. And so that's all things that prior to last year, I just was not good at doing. It was a lot of pride. I felt like if it's good enough, it'll just do good by itself. It should just be enough. Good content is good content, and it's gonna find the people. And it very well can, but it's just gonna be a very difficult process. So that's the last thing that I want to share with y'all about the mistakes that I made, and these mistakes. I'm grateful that I've grown from them, obviously, but if you can learn to avoid them sooner than later, it's going to save you a lot of frustration and a lot of discouragement, because a lot of times people quit because they get discouraged before they ever see their full potential. Two things that I did that are like, they were really big time wasters. So I'll talk about those in another part. And I want you to think about which mistake you're making right now. And I want you to make a resolution to change it. Okay? I want you to sit with that, think about which one it is, And if you're in the trendsetter community, I would really love for you to talk about what that is. Let's talk about it in the community. Talk about it in the chat. Put it in there. Maybe we'll circle back around to it on Friday. I'll ask India to get the ball rolling with it and share hers, and then we can talk about what that looks like and start to see what it looks like to overcome those things. And that's it, y'all. That's really it. So, as always, I love you so much. If you're not in the community, please get in the community. Get in the Discord, it's in the description box. And until next time, I love you. And I'll talk to you later.